All right, as it is 7 PM, we'll officially call this meeting to order. I'm sorry, did I start too soon? Is it live?
It's up for live.
It's good, okay. All right, meeting officially called to order. If the council has had an opportunity to review the minutes from last month's meeting and the claims for payment, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes and the claims.
No, second.
Motion and second to approve. Any further discussion? None heard. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. No land use permits. Open forum. Anyone here to speak on anything not currently on the agenda?
Yeah.
Welcome.
I'm representing the Rhode Island Lions about the restroom that we're gonna put down at the
Oh, yes.
rest area. Tracy wanted us to come in and kind of get everything straightened out here. So what we would like is if the city would pay for this and the Lions reimburse the city, because it'll save us taxes, money on it. It'll save some money, and the Lions will reimburse the city for it. And it does not have to be paid for until it is actually delivered.
Do we have an expected date?
It hasn't been, or we haven't done anything yet, cause, with all the tax ID numbers and stuff, John and Tracy were kind of working on this.
Did you find something you like?
Because once we get it finalized, it'd be probably a month.
Yeah, it's a little different than the one that we showed you guys, because it has to be ADA approved for a wheelchair and everything.
Yeah.
So we have to, put the door in ourselves, get a door to put in. And the Lions are paying for all this, so, but it's basically about the same, except for
A little bigger,
it's
just.
bigger, so a wheelchair can get in there and actually turn around. Cause they didn't tell us this that it wasn't big enough for a wheelchair at first.
Do we run into the same problem we ran into at the splash pad? So toilets have to be auto flush and the sink has to be,
We're not having a sink.
oh,
Just
that's
the
right.
toilet.
Just the, that's right, that's right. Okay. All right.
So it'd be reimbursed over time, or what is the?
Well, that's a question, if you guys wanna get reimbursed right away, I'll have to talk to that, like Murr or Neil, the ones that deal with the financial too, for our Lions Club. That it'll be, once ordered, 4 to 5 weeks, they said, they could have it ready. It'd be kinda nice to get it in this fall. So it'd be ready for use next spring.
Thoughts from the council? Comments?
Well, we already approved it, so it's a reimbursable, so I don't know that should make a difference.
All right, go forward. Someone-
And Tracy, did you need anything from us about going and ordering that? Do you want?
Send me the information that I need to put the paperwork together. Like, I've got the sales flyer, but whatever the tax exempt application or anything like that, that
Yeah.
I would need to fill out.
We don't have that, we have the email.
Yeah, and that's all they didn't give us a tax exempt form.
Or
Yes, it
anything.
is. It's all on that front first page. All that for your ID and all that, it's all gotta be sent in.
So, any,
Shoot me an email again.
Well, whatever's in the packet.
Yeah,
Look at.
and I can stop in and talk to you too about it.
yeah,
So if you need any help, I'd be glad to
Yep.
help with you.
yep, they'll work great, just so I get the right information, we can get it to them.
Right.
Yep.
So, cause like with the tax ID number and stuff, I didn't think the city wanted just anybody to have it, so.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, anyone else to speak on anything not currently on the agenda? Okay. Moving on to the Bolton and Make 2024 infrastructure project update.
It's all right if I join you up here?
Absolutely.
Okay. Want me over there?
No, conflicting meetings, so.
How are you guys doing tonight?
Pretty good.
How have you been?
Hanging in there, busy, but busy is good. So, I believe Tracy has a couple of resolutions in the packet for you guys. Both of those are relating to the final assessment hearing. So now that we're pretty well done with the project, it's time to get the ball rolling, get the hearing scheduled here. Just talking it over with Tracy, we were thinking here we do it in potentially October, if you guys are on board with that. I got just a brief schedule here. Put my chicken scratch down on a piece of note paper. So tonight, the 8th, would be the city council meeting for the assessments. There's a couple dates we have to hit there because, again, assessments are kind of a legal proceeding, so there's some time windows we have to make sure we fall within. So basically, you have to send mailings out to residents at least 2 weeks before the hearing. And then you have to submit a notice to the paper, which must be published at least 2 weeks prior to the hearing also. So I'm sure you guys are probably a little familiar with this from past projects. So it shouldn't be anything too new for you guys, but just wanted to reiterate that. So if we hold the hearing, just say we do it the next October council meeting, the 13th, you would be looking at getting mailings out likely the week of the 22nd, so sometime that week. And then we would be submitting notice to the paper by Monday, September 22nd at noon. It has to be to the paper before then. I got a copy here somewhere. Maybe let's, you want to hand that to Tracy, bud? Thank you. That's just my little cheat sheet there that I wrote out on the calendar. You can see what I was thinking.
Yep.
And then I have two, as you guys are looking over those resolutions. I did pull together a draft final assessment roll, so I'll pass those out to you guys. And then I'll leave one here for you if you want it also.
It's just for the street work.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Correct.
You guys want a copy at all?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, so a lot of this is gonna be very, very similar to the pre-construction numbers that we had. The only difference here is that the rate has gone down, and that's based off the bids received and the actual final construction costs. And then there's only two actual quantities on the roll, which would be the last sheet there, the final assessment rolls on the very last sheet. That's the one that has the listing of everything. The first one I have highlighted in yellow. At the time, we were looking at potentially stubbing out a water service to St. Mary's there. After talking it over with them, we decided that wasn't necessary, so we changed that to 0. The only other change we had was on line item number 11 for Dennis and Lori Berg. We went a little further on the street down there to get rid of, there's kind of a pretty big crack in the pavement and then also a bump there that the guys could feel from inside their houses when vehicles went flying by there. So we went a little bit further to catch that. So then we adjusted that length accordingly. And then that amount too is still under the amount that we had in the pre-construction or the preliminary hearing too. So basically everyone's numbers went down from when we had the meeting last time, the preliminary hearing, so.
And all these folks that are being assessed were invited to that meeting, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. One thing I guess I didn't look at yet, and that's something we'll do as we start putting mailings together, But if any of these properties were sold recently, we'll wanna get the updated names on that. So if you guys are aware of any that have changed, feel free to let me know and we'll go ahead and update them right away. No? Okay. Yeah. And then just a quick update on the project. You guys saw a little while ago that they got the streets paved out on Birch and Ranchwood down there. For the total construction cost, you can kind of see that in table 1. So there's a lot of line items in there. If you go to page number 2 of that, which looks like this, you'll see the bottom number on the right hand. That is our estimated final project cost there. There's a couple items we're waiting on, like a miscellaneous ticket or a few quick things from Schmidt, so we haven't paid the full amount out yet. But that's gonna be pretty darn close to what it'll end up being, that $326,118. So that is about 52,000 under our estimated amount when we bid the project. And about half of that cost savings was from the water main on Ranchwood. When we did this project originally, we thought that the water main was cast iron out there. When Schmidt dug down, we found out that it was PVC, so we did not need to reconstruct that. So there was some savings with that. So overall, we're about 52,000 under on the total construction. Yeah. I know it's a lot of information I gave you here, so is there any questions that you have regarding the project as a whole, anything with the final assessments?
I see there's some blank spaces in resolution 125.
Yes,
Okay.
that is,
What we've usually done is the loan for 20 years. So you could do the 20 or less, I guess. It's up to the council. What's on the years? And the rate we would do is usually a 1.5% above what we're paying. So in case there's delinquent stuff, you know.
Yep.
So was it 1%? So I would use 2.5. Do you want to do 20 years or less?
Well, we can pay it off sooner,
Yeah.
so maybe we just
Leave it at
it's
20.
best to leave it at the 20 and then we can. I mean, that's the slowest.
Yeah.
It should be paid off.
How long is your loan with PFA?
20.
20.
Yeah, you can't go any longer than their loan. You have to match it or go less than their loan amount.
Okay, 20 then 20.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
I didn't think anything different.
So, can I make a motion for both of them at once?
I would do them separately.
Okay, make a motion to approve resolution 125.
There's a motion on the table to approve resolution 1-25, declaring the cost to be assessed over a period of 20 years at an interest rate of 2.5%. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Make a
Follow
motion
it
to
up.
approve resolution 225, calling a hearing on the proposed assessments.
I'll second that.
Motion and second to approve resolution 2-25. Resolution for the hearing on proposed assessment. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Carried. It's noted that from 6 PM on October 13th, is that correct?
Yes.
Got it. Better make sure I'm there.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then just a quick recap of the project. One other thing I forgot was, we had 2 punch list items remaining. One was the televising of the sanitary sewer. I believe they did get to that last week, right?
I didn't see them.
You didn't see them?
We were busy with a number of other things.
They told me they're gonna be there that day, but I haven't heard if they're not. They haven't sent any video over, so once we get the video and reports back from them, we'll check that one off the list. And there was a couple service record forms that they needed to send to us also. Once those 2 items are complete, we will issue final payment here, which would be likely at next month's meeting. And then we'd be able to close out the contract for this project.
All right, very good.
Okay.
Any other questions from that? No? All right,
Awesome,
thank you.
no problem. If there's any other questions, don't hesitate to call.
Man, I'm just gonna tell by that Empire Pipe, is that who?
Empire Pipe Service. Yep. Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Matt.
We'll be in touch. Thanks.
Public Works maintenance update?
Water plant is still giving us issues, but we're not having anything major. We're just not running at full capacity on our pumps right now. We're working on it, and still waiting for Wade to give us a bid so we can change out our electrical feed. Cloud said that they would for sure not charge us anything to do the update because it would reduce their headaches as far as things that are happening with that old Delta phase that we're using out there. So, the mag meter is, working sometimes, but not reliably enough for us to fit our calibrations and everything for the MPCA, which is why that's on here. So that and the insurance company is involved with that. Bob Alberts did tree, stumps last week. I think he's got all but 2 of them done.
How many do you have to do?
21. Yeah. And then the splash pad is running without issues. And we took the jetter to a company. I still haven't heard back from them. They've called us and talked to us and said they would have us an email right away. I haven't seen one yet. And we're getting ready to start transferring water in our wastewater ponds to get it ready for winter. Hoop should be here this week. It was supposed to have been here today, but it got delayed.
I always see kids on that.
I know you did. I knew you'd ask, so I was like, I better just.
I actually forgot about it, but yeah.
So as soon as we get it, we'll put that up.
Oh, you guys got a basketball coming?
Mhm.
Okay, I was gonna bring that up at Lions Day for
Supposed to be here this week. Yeah.
1 or 2?
We already replaced one.
Okay, because last time.
And when we went to put the other one up, the
Okay.
other rim was broken,
Okay.
and we've been having issues getting anybody to sell it for.
Yeah.
them. So,
Whatever became of that truck on the auction?
we did not get it.
Worked that out, it was a good truck.
Really?
Yeah, like I said, it was my favorite spare in the winter, so.
Shouldn't have said
You
so.
told too many people, that dare you tell it.
So,
So John, say it again, you said with that, with
Which
the
one?
wastewater meter,
yes,
it's not, the calibrations are so far up, so
No,
that
so
we
the-
can't use those numbers for,
well,
submit?
we can't, it works one day, then it doesn't work for 3 days. doesn't give us any, you know what I mean? So we figured out, I did a math science, figured out the math by how many gallons an hour it'll do to figure it out, but that would not, if the MPCA was to walk in tomorrow, they'd be like, no. So it has to get fixed.
So that gets audited by them? It's not something we have to routinely submit to them?
That,
Are they going to be looking for those numbers and then when they don't have them?
We report our flow every day to, at the end of the month, with our TMRs, and that has to be reliable data. Usually use a timed, runtime as a secondary measure, and, back in the nineties, they required the city to have a mag meter on that, and this is from the nineties, it's old, and needs to be updated.
There are 2 quotes in the packet too.
Yeah.
To,
and there's also 2 quotes for a cellular system for it also,
So you,
which would be an update
yeah, so you still go read them manually
every day.
every day?
Yeah.
You do the water treatment plant every
Yes.
day too?
Yep.
So you still have to do that?
Yes,
Okay. Okay.
but if you miss a day there, it'll tell you what it did yesterday at the water plant. Yeah, so you could miss a day.
Just look at you or something.
Yeah, well,
60 days,
yeah,
whatever.
exactly, because you'd have one for sure still.
Yeah.
The cellular setup would record it, have it in your phone, and then if your phone died, it records 8 days.
So the one bid looks lower, do they both have, an annual fee attached? Because it looks like the calibrations control has an annual.
For the cellular,
Yeah.
I would assume the other one does, they didn't give us
It's
one.
not on there though.
Yeah,
Have we dealt with both of these companies, Dave, or have you? Calibrations and controls and the other one?
The meter, the one bid is from the person that comes out and calibrates it spring and fall. That's required by the MPCA too, that we calibrate this thing spring and fall, and now it's not calibratable, so we're in violation.
we've worked with calibrations and controls
Okay,
before, the
that's
one
right.
that's lower.
And they're lower, that's what I was
Yes.
wondering, okay.
Yep, yep, and Deanie does the phone, thing too, alarms, that's Tracy DeGeneres to get done, we asked him to include that.
We have money in the sewer fund for this. We didn't budget for it, but
Right, still,
$785. We don't replace this with a big project then. Dave, we didn't.
It was salvaged from the original lift station and reused in a separate vault.
Okay.
It clicks a bell, doesn't it? Save every place we can, and now
Yeah.
30 years later, we can fix it for 20 years.
I would make a motion to approve the calibrations and controls bid for the mag meter and the cellular package.
I'll second.
Motion and second to accept the low bid from Calibrations and Controls for both the mag meter as well as the cellular package. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Storm sewer invoice from Ms. J. Jacobs.
I'm gonna let Dave explain this one, he's better at explaining the intricacies
Okay,
of this one.
back in April, whatever the date is on there, there was a storm sewer back up on the west or east end of town out by the ballroom. 212C and Denny Birds and stuff, and what ended up happening is one of the aggrieved parties had Jacobson's come in and televise it to locate the problem where it was. So we opened up an app and manhole access for them, and they proceeded to run the camera up there, and they discovered that there was a penetration in the top of the pipe was holding the water back. There was debris in there. So, what they ended up doing then is now we knew where it was because their camera has got a locator on it and good visual and stuff, crawlers to get it up that far. It was like 400 feet into the line. And, so, they, decided that, they're put one call in and fix it. It says, you know, the city has nothing on that line. We never put an intake in there or anything, so someone did something, someone being 212 Seed, when they built that building, hired a private contractor at their expense to run a water line offset so they could build that building there. So with the discussion that's happened since, what probably happened is they had to cut in the top of the pipe and put in a temporary drain. And when they came to closing it up, it never got finished off right. They ended up just sticking the pipe up to the surface, put a pail on top of it with a disc, and it got forgotten, ran over, and trucks probably pushed it down and collapsed it. The other part of the scenario is that there was a critter pulled out of there. You know,
What's
the
a
water,
Critter,
a
animal.
critter, yeah, we don't wanna tell you what, but it was, in there, and that's what plugged up, you know, cause the dent to the top, the water was still flowing underneath, but because there was stuff that was allowed in, you know, the open areas of the pipe, that plugged it up. So as soon as that blockage was removed and the water drained, and then they took that temporary intake out, repaired the pipe, and so the city also did give them a load of granite fines and access and covered up the port. So this was beyond the scope of the city to do this, in my opinion. Also at that time, when this was being talked about, it was directed at that time to concentrate on other things.
So have we talked to 212C?
Yes, I did pop in there Friday. The original owner, Phil Smith, has sold that. And I did talk to the new owner about what happened. And I told him there's another concern out there, another intake that, you know, was forgotten. We used to be out there, and he was concerned about that and thanked me about that too. His first question was there any recourse on the contractor? I said, well, no, not after 7 years. There's no way, you know. So, I don't know where to go. So, in hindsight, I'm glad that the city didn't get involved in a private matter, because this was something done by somebody else, an outside force. No permits were filed or asked for, and records of what was going on here. So, I'm glad that system is in place.
So we didn't hire them then, the city didn't?
No, 212,
Okay.
yeah.
At Jacobs, I mean, this bill,
What's that?
who hired them to do this?
I believe Denny Verdi did. I don't know that.
So should this bill get sent to?
Well, what I told Kurt, the new owner, was that seeing what the end result was and everybody that was infected, the ballroom, the bird property and this property, they were all affected, and everybody had a little bit to blame, you know, with due care to their intakes and structures. So I don't know if the city could do an assessment for all three of those parties involved that benefit from that. That would be the fairest.
You can't do that.
I don't think that
You have
falls
to
within
hearings and, yeah.
Doesn't fall within the parameters of
Yeah.
assessing, but.
Well, if it was a private matter, I would be saying, guess what, guys, you figure it out and get back to me.
Well, have you spoken to Jacobs and advised them that maybe it was misbilled? We need to do that and say,
Just
Because
send it
it's
back.
not-
We didn't authorize this work.
yeah.
It sounds like
There was likely an assumption made because it's that long line out there that it would be the city's responsibility, but
Well, it was
that's not
definitely,
the case, then.
and it was definitely, the problem was definitely on the city line, but it was caused by outside forces that had no permit to do that. So I get that part of it. The blockage was on the city main.
So does it fall to the city then to be responsible for the bill and then try to recoup that from responsible company?
If you want a way to handle it, pay it and send a bill
I
to
mean-
each one of them.
Regardless of whether we initiated it, if it was on the city line, it still would have been the city's responsibility to repair it and get it working correctly. Yes?
You can definitely look at it that way.
Well, I can't hardly say it's on the homeowners because it's on the city line. So,
The other issue is somebody just hooking on, doing whatever without getting a permit stuff, you know, you can't, how are we supposed to? And then they do
Right.
something wrong.
but it comes back on the company that did the work as well as the
Well,
whoever authorized that.
That brings up a
company to
good
work.
point though, when we have a homeowner at a sewer, they have to fill out an application and a permit, and we're there to witness that the hookup was done correctly. This water line bypass was the private contractor that they hired. He tapped into our line without asking.
Thoughts?
I think we should just send it back to Jacobs and say that it, yeah, I mean, it was an issue that wasn't caused by the city, we didn't hire them. Be different too that if we were not hiring, the city didn't hire them to do the work, right?
Well,
I mean, like,
I think that's kicking the can down the road, and that's okay too. I think Jacobs has talked to all the parties, and that's probably what they want the city to lead on that, on this. And again, I would pay it
I
and
think-
send each of them.
would we
Ultimately,
split
it's
it?
in the city line though.
I get it, how would we split this? Who's, like,
I don't know.
it's not Berg's fault if, you know.
Yeah, somebody else did it.
Like, how did, we're just gonna end up having to eat it, and it's not.
And if we had gone after it and fixed it and stuff, we would have, and we would have ate it, and sure we wouldn't have able to bill it to anybody, you know, as well too. Which I thought was kind of nice, at least you have an actual cost of what this process cost the city.
So regardless, if they had contacted the city and said, hey, we have a problem with this line, we would have had to investigate
Oh, they
it.
did,
And
Julie. And I said, not my problem, you know. Yeah,
so they had no choice, but I mean, if they'd already talked to the city and we said,
yeah.
we haven't done any work out there, so it's not the city's issue.
Yeah,
They had no choice but to go on their own and get it
that's
looked
a
at.
correct statement.
Oh. Hello?
No.
Thoughts, comments?
So is the property that initially hooked into this line, are they getting like full services from us, like water and sewer that they're getting billed for? Okay.
Problem is, they just didn't file the correct permits and when the work was initially done. Yes.
That 212C building. Can we just go after, ask the new owner?
I'm sorry, Bill.
Could we ask the new owner, hey, what this?
I talked to him Friday and said, this is it, you know, this is on, you know, the construction, this is where it happened, this is what Jacobs will tell you. So he's aware of it. So I said, it's gonna be discussed tonight, and if he's more than welcome to come.
So what you're thinking, we just pay it and then send the bill to them, and hopefully they take some responsibility.
No.
I guess so. You know which way we're gonna end up. No. So that makes sense. You have to have a motion or not? It's built up, so I don't think so. Yeah. I don't think so.
There's one other statement I'd like to make, this is, if we would not have, if Jacobs would have told us, hey, this is where it is, what we think is going on, and the city had come back and dug that, and then that wasn't it, guess what? Then Jacobs would rather come back again and help us out again, so it really, you can kind of look at this was out of our, we didn't have the machine ability to do this, so we let him go too. It's just like working on a frozen water main, or, you know, in the winter that we needed help with, and this is something that is a little above and beyond our two-man crew. And,
I think too, we pay it and then we talk to 212C and
I agree with
I
that.
think that's where we know it was originated from or where the damage had come from. And work something out with them.
Like you said, it was a critter in there, but you said debris also. Is there like corn trash or something?
well, because there's so much water behind it, Bill, once the plastic got removed that was shoved down and the critter out of there, a lot of stuff went, you know, so. Yeah, I would say leaves, you know, it's just like we clean catch basins all over town, yeah, there's leaves in there, and so.
All right, I don't think we need an additional motion on this go through us, so. All right. Anything else from Public Works?
Nope.
Thank you. Splash pad update.
So I submitted the first reimbursement to the DNR grant. They denied a couple, or a few of the items that were submitted. The main one being the, splash pad equipment, because it was purchased and received prior to the, grant date at a total cost of about $90,000, just under $90,000. And then there were some other engineering and costs that were done prior to the grant, just to get the application, that I didn't realize were included in the bills when I submitted it. So they denied a few of those also, which ends up lowering our total amount from the 700,000 that we originally had estimated to about approximately 610,000 that we used. And so now we'll have to try to figure out where that shortfall is going to come from.
This is the, in total. This is just the one and only submission that.
This is the full amount. The second half of this has not been submitted yet to
Okay.
the DNR. So there could be more
So there
things that
could
they
be more
end up
things that-
denying for whatever reasons when I submit the final one.
Shoot.
So right now, the balance, we've got, we're carrying a 390,874.92 in the cash balances. Was there any funds yet from the splash pad adventure park nonprofit that's gonna expire?
Yeah. You know it does. Yes. Yeah, so I had to back up a little bit, because I was feeling real bad about, I know I wanted the splash pad equipment for the 90,000 in good faith, that how it was set up, it would be fine for the DNR grant. And I ended up even calling the state lady and being like, I know I ordered this in good faith, we tried to do, you know, X, Y, Z. And she said because of the dates on there, it does not qualify. And so I had to go back because I lost sleep over it. And I went back and on a Google Doc, I created for February council meeting 2023, I just have, I printed them off. I have a letter, on the backside, and it printed funny, and I don't know why, but, you bet. But you can see on the front, it does say like, when I created it, and then I modified it a couple days after that. And then it talks about in there that, we will be ordering in April. So in February, I knew, you know, we were planning and waiting for that DNR grant, and then we were told, I know I was told, that it would work, and it did work. So I feel really bad about that.
So what dates were they looking for? It had to be within,
The contract with the DNR, so we found out that we received the grant sometime in June of 2023 is when we
Awarded it.
we were told that we were gonna get it, and then the contract started August 16th. Anything done before August 16th, they won't, okay.
so the problem came with when we knew we were getting the grant and then when
It
it
was
was
delivered,
officially, yeah.
but we billed in October, which the splash pad paid for. They paid that in October, so that money came out of the splash pad account. So, I mean, if that helps it feel not so harsh, for just not getting the 90,000 towards the DNR grant, but, yeah.
Yeah, they just care about whatever documents that you submit to them. It has to be after that date. So it's unfortunate they put that on there, you know, they didn't have to put.
I was told that, yep, it's fine, we've done this, I just know it, like, I know I wouldn't have, like, cause I even said in that letter to the council, like, we can't do anything until, you know, we get, you know, whatever, and.
Just make sure that whatever gets sent in is dated.
The bill, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then, yeah.
Well, here we are, so now we
Yeah.
gotta figure out what to do.
Have you looked into this though, Tracy? What are our options? Get money.
I was just figuring, is there any more?
Yes.
Yes.
So Kayla and I have been like looking at numbers, and so we were looking at the 614,000 would be the new budget when we were talking. Now you said 610 today.
Just because there were some other,
Deductions.
Yeah.
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 So if we divide that by 2, because the grant will pay for 50% of what has been spent, that would be roughly 305,000.
Okay.
And the splash pad, you know, like we paid for the equipment, the 90,000, so we have raised over 240,000. Now, 240,000 has not come directly to the city, but we have paid for different things. And so that leaves, you know, roughly 67,000 out of pocket for the city, roughly, you know. And then we're looking at our accounts, and it looks like we have, depending what this last bill for Jay comes from tiling, we have about 18,000 left to come to the city. So that would leave 49,000, our rough numbers out of pocket for the city.
Well, we're looking at the minus right now, 398.74, so that's probably from the beginning with all the engineering and stuff. I don't know, but that's what we're.
Right, part of that engineering was denied as well, was it not?
Yeah, because it was done prior to that date.
So if we end up with the 300,000, we're short of 90 minus the 18. That's 72,000. We're at 72,000. How much did we look in the parks that we have? We were
There was
looking at that
about,
earlier.
there's approximately 40,000 in capital outlay. left over.
We took 40 and we're still short. 38, whatever ends up happening, the general fund is gonna have to zero out, you know, whatever it is. So it is what it is. We were also looking at that, if you look at the, everything. The general, the cash balances, the general fund at the beginning is 1.741. The budgeted disbursements 1.168 roughly. Subtracting those two, we have an overage of over 100% of the disbursements by 572,578. So that's not bad. I mean, we've always looked like keep 100% of 1 year's budget, you know, so I would guess the rest would have to come out of there. Is what it is at this point.
Fundraising.
Well, that's, like, Tracy, have you submitted like all the final bills? Cause like I was looking in this ledger and like one of like my donation of time was only 400 or 500 hours.
That we need to, that's why I
know, but the paper I submitted to you had more than 500 hours.
and that had time from beforehand, so I tried to estimate knowing that I couldn't submit that full of the time, cause you had it from like
Has to be
2021. So that's why that's different, but no, anything that has to do with like our volunteer time and our labor time has not been submitted, and all of the expenses from 2024 have not been submitted. So if you look on here, the only thing that's been submitted, there's like a big gap between 24 and 25. Everything above the top half of that gap has been submitted. Everything below it has yet to be submitted.
From the 2025.
Yes.
Is this a total of everything? Everything is included in this?
That I am aware of, yes. Unless there's something out there that I don't know about that has not come in.
Did you say there was another bill from somebody coming in?
We have a couple more bills coming in from the splash pad side of it, because whatever happens on the playground cannot be included in the DNR grant.
I
But
still don't understand that, it's really next.
I know, in the grounds,
I keep trying every time I talk to them.
I talked to Tracy about this, because I know Jake has pictures while he's in the trench digging the line that goes from the pond to the man-made well. And he had to literally dig it up, and he has pictures of it. But, because I knew in December when I came and we didn't have any final numbers, I knew we were gonna be short. And that is why I pushed it, because I thought it would help build it up.
The logic doesn't make sense to me
I know.
at all.
And we could prove it, but I don't know if they would accept it, because it was not in the plan is what Tracy, and I think she's right, I think that they won't approve it, because it wasn't in our initial plan, and we did it
It
too
was
late.
after that, yep.
But the argument was always about the environmental because it's a different location, but it's not a different
Right,
location.
the land was
That's
already
similar.
disturbed. The land
Oh,
was
yeah.
disturbed.
So part of it was disturbed because of the drainage hill, but not all of it was disturbed. And I keep
Okay.
pushing, I'm like, but it's on the same parcel, the whole thing is on the same parcel. Nope, that doesn't matter, cause it doesn't fit in the footprints of
Okay.
where the things were.
Just a couple square feet.
Yeah, and I keep trying, every time I talk to him, are you sure? Are you sure?
So any bills that come in from this point, but we're already past the deadline date, right?
Right, the
So-
deadline date was June 30th, so so,
For the project to be done.
yes,
Right.
But she can still submit things. I'm guessing.
June 30th. It
Oh,
was the hard and fast cutoff, but if there's
Oh.
some bills of work that was done
that we
back then
got.
that we haven't received, because I know some people have a hard time billing on a timely manner.
So any bills that haven't come in, but they have to be dated
They have to
prior
be
to June
done,
30th.
yep, done dated from prior to June 30th.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Okay, but you can still submit them.
Yeah, I haven't submitted any.
That's what I- okay.
This year yet, I'm
Okay.
trying to make sure I have
That's
everything done from this year
Yeah.
and I get the
Yeah.
reimbursement
Okay.
from the first.
Wow.
I wanna make sure I receive those funds and know
No.
before I submit anything else.
Tracy, I know in one of our meetings, back when we were talking about trying to budget and stuff, I had on a spreadsheet, like Dustin wanted shelving in there and maybe like some of the stuff to like blow the lines out and stuff, or a heater, we talked about a heater. Did any of those things get ordered for that? Do you know?
No, of course they did not.
Okay, I was just checking.
I
That
asked
would have been
about them,
something
but
to
yep,
add to, yeah.
yep.
Okay.
So the playground doesn't count at all towards any money for
No.
submitting to the
No.
DNR grant, okay?
So like we had some, Jake Harrison did some of the groundwork and we had to keep that time separate from the groundwork to the splash pad and the groundwork to the playground. And like we had, someone just donated us the concrete to make a sidewalk to connect the two playground and the
Yeah.
splash pad. We can't count that, we can't count the curbing that was donated.
But no, like the parking lot and anything dealing with the parking lot, does that count towards it or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because that was all where the tennis courts were, so that was all disturbed.
Mhm.
So they were okay. We had to do an amendment to show cost savings on different line items to be able to include
Okay.
parking lot.
So they donated product, was their time, and we were donated as well?
We didn't get a bill for that. Just part of the sidewalk part. So, but, yeah, I mean, prepping the land where that sidewalk was, is that, I don't know. So it goes over the splash pad area, get real technical, I don't know.
Well, we might have to go back through it, the fine tooth comb, and make sure we've included everything that.
Mm-hmm.
Can maybe make things more gentle.
Good to be creative.
Yes, and
Have
one
to
of the
be.
things is I need to sit down with all of the guys and go through all of their time cards to make sure we have every minute of their time included.
Okay.
Okay. No action needs to be taken on any of that. It's just an update. All right, anything else on the splash pad? Thanks, Lori. Moving on to resolution 3-25. The proposed 2026 budget and levy.
So this got out of order in your packets slightly. It got mixed up with the next item on the agenda,
Oh,
but
did I skip one then?
no, your packets got mixed up or put out of order by accident, but that's okay. So. Where's my budget? Okay. So there, I have the two different budgets more or less put together in here. The, one of them is to include the Island Living debt service, assuming Island Living is not going to be able to repay the city next year. So the council can decide if they want to include that or not. The other couple items that I have included in here is, where's my notes? The wage increase for this employees is a 3% COLA increase, and then after doing our wage comparison with the League Minnesota Cities salary thing, the few of us met to talk about the increases, and we kind of decided on what would be appropriate for each position to increase their amount to be close to the average. And so that would be, but yet at the same time also be in order with our pay equity rules and assignments or amounts that we have. So that included approximately a $4,000 increase for the deputy clerk, $3,400 increase for the maintenance worker, $3,800 increase for the maintenance supervisor, and a $2,400 increase for the city administrator.
And Tracy, we had talked about, this was the full amount, correct?
Yes,
Because
those
I
are the,
think we had kind of thrown around some numbers too, maybe splitting it between 2 years.
yep, and when I looked at splitting it between 2 years, it was only gonna, it was a difference of $8,000
Oh, that's
Total
right,
budget.
we did say that, which was minimal.
in the grand scheme of things, yep. One other thing to discuss, and this had came up in a couple webinars that I've had recently. Minnesota has changed their laws and now they have that new Minnesota paid leave program that starts in January. And to fund that program, everyone gets to now pay in like we do with FICA and everything else, and it's a 0.88% of the salaries. And so the employer has the option of how they want to split it between the employer and the employee. The employer can pay 100% of it, or they can have the employees pay a portion of it, but no more than 50% of that cost. So if the city wants to split it 50-50 with the employees, overall, it would cost the city, I think, I figured out about $1,300 if they do 50-50 with the employees, or if the city decides to pay 100% of it, it would cost approximately $2,600 for the year for the city.
That doesn't seem enough to mess around with. Just, I would be okay with the city paying the whole 100%.
I would too.
I would agree.
And then you put that in the budget.
Yes, I put the full amount in the budget just because I did not know how the city wanted to do it, and with it being such a small dollar value. And that split can also be changed down the road at some point, but it can never be more than 50% that the employees pay. So if the city decides 10 years down the road that they don't want to pay 100% of that, they can change it, or next year for that matter. So,
Did you want the discussion with the township thing during this before we decide on the budget?
so the discussion on the township contracts, that was, I wanted to kind of bring it up because I know last year when we got the fire truck for the fire department, the fire department was supposed to go and, ask the townships to help contribute to the truck, similar to how they had done in years past when they had bought a truck. And we have not actually received any help from the townships on that, so I can't say for certain if the fire department has or has not. They have not actually told me that, but I haven't received anything, so I'm led to believe one way. But also with that, I know the state is trying to pass a bunch of new laws and getting really stingent on equipment and prices on equipment, and that's rather expensive. And so I just want to kind of bring up the idea of the township contracts. And maybe we want to look at potentially, not necessarily for next year, but in the future, consider increasing them or adding an amount on there for equipment upgrades.
We've actually done that before, actually. So,
Yeah. So-
but I think the main thing is with the townships is that you're upfront with them, transparent, visit with them because they do their budget like, I think, January for the next year. But I think they know the needs of the departments and I think they would be receptive as long as you're just not gonna throw a bill at them.
Right.
You know, somebody goes and visits with their, have we done any of that yet?
No, but I will get a couple of guys and we'll split them up.
I think they definitely would, I mean, cause they have in the past, they just,
And I don't want to just say, hey, we're gonna increase your
Yeah.
township contract.
and one of the things they really, I know, like to see is what the fire department budget is. So if you had that to bring with, and what the cost is, what we're paying for the truck now.
Mhm.
I mean, there's gonna be more trucks in the future, I mean, so.
Yep.
Like I said,
I'm not a fan of just increasing the contract.
Right,
I don't
me
either.
neither.
That becomes a nightmare.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
and I just
I think you do a
Yeah,
don't
separate,
want them shopping for public
Right.
safety. And
Mhm.
I think you just do a separate thing for a truck that you need, work something out.
And yeah, I would agree. Discussions with the townships, saying we'd like the contract
Increase it.
well, remain the same, but we're asking for additional dollars to go toward specific equipment.
So I guess it's just The question on the budget then is, do we want to include, the bond for the, I don't know, the new building or not? That's the difference
That's the
between.
main question between the two
That's the
different ones that
difference
are
between
coming.
the two.
I think we should, just because it's unknown. I don't want to leave it out. And then all of a sudden, we're faced with, now we don't have a choice, we have to, they can't pay it back, so city has to be paying it.
It's either put it in the budget or take it out of reserves, so you can. I kind of tend to agree, I think we should put it in the budget.
I think we should put it in the budget too.
And at worst case, you have the budget hearing and people are up in arms over that kind of increase. It's what we have to support our, I don't know, alls to, you know, that's the increase.
Just in case.
Yeah.
And we can always go down.
Right.
We
Yes.
just can't go up.
Right.
So
Yeah.
if we put it in and I don't recall, what was with it in there?
With
What was the, what was the percent increase?
14.52 versus,
6.65.
yeah, 6.65.
So we're talking about the 18,035,910. 53,910.
Would we have to budget for the full amount?
We were talking about that too, but I think that would be kind of a nightmare with the paperwork somehow. I'm trying to think how that would work when you get the
Yeah.
county thing in and then, I don't know. I think it would be
Or is it
easier.
better to just budget slightly higher? I mean, I don't like to see the double digits, to be honest.
Talk about maybe just the interest or the principal, one or the other.
Yeah, that's true.
You could leave the interest in and take the principal out, then you don't have to worry about the abatement left. And then at worst case, we have to transfer 18,000 out of the general fund. And it's not such how much would that be an increase?
11.89.
No, we're still just.
Still at double digits. What do we have to do to get it down to like 9 point something?
Take out the interest.
Take out the interest and leave the principal.
Yeah. What's that, 9.28?
That's not bad.
35,910, then worst case has to come out of reserves. We don't get it.
I'm confident though that they would at least be able to pay the interest. No?
How many people over there?
I'm not on the board anymore for this reason. Didn't want to get in the middle of, which hat am I supposed to be wearing?
I don't recall what the last,
I don't know that two people.
Well, there isn't any.
so five apartments, 6 people?
I think
Does that
so.
sound right?
That sounds right. I couldn't say for certain if that's exactly what it is, but.
I need to see double digits for an increase. I just. Everything's going up, so I understand. What was the other option? Taking out the interest, or what did you say?
Taking out the interest or the principal,
One or the other.
and I don't know if we did half of the wages, would that be, how much is that gonna come out?
it's only gonna be 8,000.
8,000,
Yeah.
so that's not a lot anyway.
No, that didn't amount to anything.
So. I wouldn't wanna cut anything else in the budget either.
Has there been any inkling of what the cities around us are looking at for their proposed budgets?
I have no idea what they're doing this year yet.
I'm at the end of September.
I know. I just thought maybe there was some rumbling or maybe heard something.
From what I was told last year is Olivia was double digits last year. And back then, now this is over a year ago, it sounded like that this year was going to be just as bad. But I have no idea what they're doing this year.
Going up, but
I mean, things could have changed. That was guesstimations back then.
Can you find out from the other 8 towns in the county?
We have to decide tonight on this though. This
Yeah.
has to go to the county audit.
Okay.
So we'll find out what everyone's increase is
But the problem
after
is that
September 30th.
every town has different things going on, so.
Right.
Like, if we didn't have this issue at all, we would.
well, again, this is the proposed, so we can go lower, we just can't go higher.
Just a matter of when the announcements, when you get your little thing up that says you're, whatever. Might have a room full of people, but that's okay.
I'll have at least one full.
Well, maybe they would have some better suggestions, some better suggestions.
I don't know what to do.
I would be happy to listen to that.
I would actually be okay just taking that 18 off though. That's not a lot. I mean, it's still double digits, but
Taking the principal out,
yeah.
and that brought it down to 11.
And then there's not an, they're all debt service, she doesn't have to add a whole thing to the budget, just makes it easier.
But remember, Julie, you said we can go down, so if we leave it.
No.
11 looks better than whatever.
14, yeah.
I don't know what if the shift is still going more towards like the business to the residential, because the residential seems to be getting bigger and the commercial is going down as far as tax rates, because the property is selling for less. And the residential are selling for more. That's still fall. Yeah. So that's been the no help either. So.
Well, I guess the 11 isn't as shocking as the 14. So,
You're saying everything's going on, so I'm assuming all towns are gonna have maybe double digit.
Every town's got different things going on too.
Yeah.
It's just disheartening when you look at wage increases and, you know, you're looking at getting a 3%. And then you're like, but my taxes are going up 14%. That doesn't work out in personal budgets either then. So.
But the city did bond to help out the island, the main building, so
we did.
that's something that we have and other towns don't. I mean, that's what we're talking about here, basically, the difference, so.
Well, is there a motion?
I would make a motion to approve the resolution 325 with taking off the 18,000 there. So whatever that comes up to be.
I'll second
The
that.
11.
11.8.
1.8.
I'm sorry, Phil, did you second?
I second.
There is a motion and a second on the table to approve resolution 3-25 with the change of subtracting the 18,000 Haven levy with the principal. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Makes me sad. Never enough money. 860 Highway Avenue. Tax forfeited.
I'm very involved. 860, that's a 50-foot frontage, right? Anybody? No? Is it,
I can tell you in a second.
it's not worth it to the city to have that if nobody can build on it.
He has no use for it.
No use for it. It's the neighbors that are gonna use for it.
It's been through 2 auctions and has not sold, and so now the city kind of has the,
Yeah.
I don't even know what you call
No, they don't call it that.
it. Yeah.
Because we're going- You should
Yeah,
do
the city
this.
ordinance actually prohibits any from going up on there, correct?
Right.
So unless one of the neighbors wants
Unless
to
the
buy it,
neighbors
then
are
that's
purchasing
put it in,
To their
join it with their
Split it.
property.
Yeah, split it. They're the only ones that, there's any value.
Who is on either side of them?
That's right, it's Reiner and Sullivan.
Reiner and Macklin Zimmerman. That's all
The Sullivans. Doesn't Joey live in there?
Are you guys looking it up or are you doing
Yeah.
something else? Okay.
No, we're looking it up. Oh, 860.
Yeah.
Oh, Zimmerman?
Zimmerman bought it.
Oh, okay.
I think I could.
That's kind of what I heard, but I'm not sure. I haven't looked it up to.
31.
The issue would be, we have all that, we have all the money in it from demoing, so they probably ask us, we're just, we're gonna eat that. So we're gonna buy it for that, whatever that cost.
Yeah, because there was a house that was
Totally.
assessed, tore down and assessed on that property.
I don't have the, I believe it's 50, but I don't have it exactly.
So if it goes up for public auction though, anything over the actual taxes that are due on it would go back to the city, would it not?
It should, the assessment should get paid
Yeah,
for this. Should, I don't know, I guess I don't know, the rule is, have changed. I don't know why the city would wanna.
So I mean, what happens to the property if it just sits there and it doesn't get sold? Like, what happens then?
Guessing, we're mowing that anyway.
It's be a city maintenance problem.
We're mowing it now.
So the city have more cost into it. But we will regardless, I mean. I just don't know what use the city would have for it.
But Deb, you know more about this than I think everybody here. It says, the last statement says, if nobody does nothing, it's gonna go to public auction in 60 days. So does that mean somebody might be able to, the neighbor might be able to pick it up for $10?
Yes.
And reduce out our assessment and all that stuff? So the assessment is basically forgiven when it goes to the next auction.
I would guess so. They might call and say, we have somebody who wants to buy it for X amount and you have
Right
this
there.
dollar amount into it and are you willing to,
It says state of Minnesota on it.
Okay.
that's because, yeah.
But do they pay a little more property taxes in the future?
It's
No.
just a vacant lot. That whole story is just a nightmare. Well, it doesn't have the, does it have the?
I'm gonna measure it.
Well, you still pay property taxes on,
You do, but how much is it for a 50-foot lot that there's nothing on it, you know? Even if it wasn't, what are we, you know?
It's pretty close to
Yeah,
50,
I'm
maybe,
pretty sure it's 50.
maybe 50 or 60 foot lot. It's under the 75.
Yeah, it's gotta be 75. We don't have to have a vote. We just don't-
But that doesn't mean the neighbors don't want that property to put a shed or, you know,
Right.
something
Yeah.
small on it, or just fence in their,
Driveway.
yeah.
Yeah.
Regardless, my understanding is the city just not having interest in it. All right, moving on to ditch 66, redetermination of benefits.
So the viewers are going to be coming to meet with the city tomorrow at 9 AM. Us employees here have talked a lot with Paul Setsafont about that, the full redetermination of benefits too. And he is more than willing to speak on it on behalf of the city, but he would like to be invited to speak. He doesn't want to assume and overstep any kind of, do any overstepping or anything like that.
You're talking about Paul, right?
Yes. And then, so the city will, once the viewers do whatever they'll represent at the county commissioners meeting on November 25th
Or 25th.
at 8:30 in the morning.
Do you know if they're represented by a ditch attorney? No, if I-
I'm
Just
not sure,
curious.
see,
I was involved in this a long time ago, and I think Setsfont was probably on the county board at the time.
Times too, so I think he's very
So I
knowledgeable.
think we
in
will.
everything.
The big thing that's very frustrating to me is we successfully petitioned out, and that meant all of our lines that were county ditch lines, now the city takes care of. I believe the one we just did, would have been a ditch 66, not, Dave? The storm sewer
on Cherry.
on Cherry?
Every other one is, I don't think Sherry
Okay.
was. I have
Well,
to check that.
Irregardless, there is a bunch.
Yeah, we petitioned out of
So we
it.
petitioned out, and that's why they gave us because we're putting water into the ditch yet, so we pay the outlet fee. Now, if they want to bring us back in and pay a percentage, then that would mean the whole ditch system should pay for any repairs or cleaning we do to our ditch 66 lines. Like, yeah, to me, they can't have it both ways, and he understands that. I mean, Paul knows that. Like, and you guys know that.
So they're coming here tomorrow
Mm-hmm.
to speak with
With
anyone
us.
who wants to be here, or with
So
us
they-
personally.
They've been asking us for a number of different diagrams and all these, we keep giving him things, which we're happy to do, but then he's like, well, I want this one also, I want this one also, and I put out an invitation to him and said, hey, would you like to come here, we can get you everything you think you want, that you think you need, so we can do this all at one time. We can give you a tour to show you what we're doing with our water and where it's at. And he said, yeah, he'd be happy to come out, so he is coming tomorrow at 9 AM.
We want to sell the point that we're different than a farmer, and we have retention ponds, we have curb and gutter, we have street sweepers, and all the trash doesn't go in the ditch. So I'm glad he agreed to meet.
Have we extended an invitation to all sets of them to attend?
I think that's what he's asking, so that he can.
Well, tomorrow and when we can
And in
meet with the
November.
commissioners in November.
I think that would be a wise decision for the city.
I do too.
Yeah.
I welcome that.
And I would like to be here if I can. Ambulance call.
I would not take my granddaughter to the airport at 4:30 in the morning.
Well, I just didn't know if anyone else was planning to be here, so we don't run into trouble having too many.
So I'm
They were gonna- All right, Fire Relief Association donation for hose equipment. In the amount of $2,858.19.
motion to accept the donation for the hose equipment.
I'll second.
Motion and second. I'm not sure who said it, I'm sorry.
Bill did.
Oh. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
I,
Opposed? Carried. All right. Anything else the council needs to discuss at this time? If not, the meeting is officially adjourned.